I've identified the 5 most important relationship boundaries you have to have in your relationship. And I'm highlighting these for you guys because I think people talk a lot about having relationship boundaries, right? I make a lot of videos on communicating your boundaries effectively to your partner, standing on them, not flexing on them, and all that stuff. But I think sometimes people get confused as to, well, what should my boundaries look like in the first place? What are the ones I really need to have versus the ones that are like, extra or something that's a bonus or not that necessary? So I want to simplify this for you and give you the fundamental ones that you have to have these if you're going to be healthy and happy in your relationship. And this isn't just me making these up. As a certified life and relationship coach, I coach tons of people all the time. So it's my job to take the information I gather from what helps one person to the next and start to put it into a framework that is digestible and tangible for anyone to use and get the same results. And one of the first major boundaries you need is environmental boundaries, right? Which means you have to be clear on what type of situations, what kind of places you are not okay being around, that you got to communicate to your partner. Because see, look, sometimes we find someone we like, but then we start to see that they hang out in places or they put themselves around people that don't really fit for you and isn't good for your well-being, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, right? So you have to get clear on, here are the type of situations you cannot put me in, and let your partner know that. This is the type of arenas I don't parlay in. This isn't a go for me. These are the arenas that are, right? This is the stuff that helps support that healthy me that I'm looking to be and that I want to continue to be. Now, if you're attracting the right healthy person in alignment with you, this shouldn't be an issue anyways. But hey, sometimes someone that does even work for you can have a difference of what they're into that you're not, but you have to be able to articulate to your partner, these are the type of circumstances that don't work for me because these type of circumstances breed this type of result for me. They cause this in my life and that doesn't work for me. The second pillar boundary you need is physical boundaries. You have to be able to communicate to the partner that you're going to spend the rest of your life with what does and does not work for you touch wise, how they can handle you, right? What is a no-go, right? Like hitting you or whatever the case is, or even handling you too aggressively, or how you like to receive affection, how you like to be touched intimately in the bedroom, maybe, right? You have to give them the play for that so that you're never in a situation where you're feeling weird off of something that they did that wasn't a verbal thing and it wasn't maybe even intentionally to harm you, but it doesn't resonate too well with your vessel, right? Because look, your body is one of the most important things you have because it is the thing that keeps you here on this planet, right? So you have to be able to tell your partner, here's what does and does not work and feel good to me. It doesn't put me in a good energy whenever this happens, or this sets me off and lights me up like a Christmas tree when it does. And always remember, your physiology impacts your mental and emotional well-being heavily. So the things that happens to your vessel will come through in your emotions, and your emotions are everything. And that brings me to the third major boundary, your emotional boundaries, right? You have to be able to communicate to your partner how they need to handle you emotionally in times where you need to support, or in times whenever they need to address you about something that they didn't like, right? You still have feelings that matter, and you need to know that your emotions are safe with this person because how you feel works into your nervous system, and your nervous system runs through your body, and therefore you will reflect those emotions either in a depressed way or an excited way or whatever based off of how you're feeling. So it's very important for your partner to understand what you need to stay in the right emotional space to feel the way you want to feel and need to feel to be a healthy, happy person. Even emotional hotspots, let them know the things that are triggers to you or things that are off limits to them because you haven't necessarily got to a space where you're ready to talk about them yet. And that doesn't mean leave that area off limits forever, right? You should be putting the work in to heal those internal wounds and let go of that emotional baggage. See, there's a difference between being healthy and healed from something, but it's still a topic that you don't care to talk about as much versus you can't talk about it or she'll be messed up, right? Big difference. Because you should be able to open up about anything to your partner. But what I'm saying is sometimes until you get ready or before you reach that space, you're not ready to do it yet, let your partner know where you're at and what's off limits while you're still working through it so that they don't go scratching on areas that might put you in a rough emotional space and mess you up. Fourth, growth boundaries. You have to let your partner know these are the things you cannot do because if you do these things in my life, you're going to slow me down, slow my growth down. You're going to hinder my ability to keep thriving. You're going to be more of a drag to me than someone that helps propel me forward, right? Letting them know, hey, doing this stuff actually sabotages what I'm trying to do to grow for me because we have to grow as human beings. If you're not growing, you're dying. This is a crucial thing. And if you're not growing, you're going to be feeling like less of a person, and you're going to start feeling like you're withering away. We can't have that. That's detrimental to your mental and emotional well-being, your sense of fulfillment in life. So you have to have standards and boundaries that you communicate to your partner on. This is what is not acceptable to do in my world, or else you might stifle me being a better me. And fifth, individuality boundaries. You must set the limits for having space with your partner in your relationship. It is so crucial. Think about it. They got with you and you got with them because you loved who they were. You wanted to have them a part of your life. You don't want to be them. You don't want to be fused with them in a certain way. Yes, you want to operate as one, but you're two pillar pieces holding up the house, if you will. So you can't do that if you don't create time and space for yourself to have autonomy, time to think in your own space and bubble. Go out and do things for and by yourself, just to reconnect with you sometimes so you can check in and make sure you're still being the best you for them and vice versa. So you have to be able to set the limits like, hey, I love you. This is the time we're going to spend together. This is the boundaries I need on when we do spend some time together, how much time I do need from you. But also, here's what I need to have space just to recharge my batteries and be me. And gives me a chance to miss you at times where I'm out on my own thinking about how much I appreciate you when you're not around me. So I can actually, you let my mind marinate on that kind of stuff. You need to set that with your partner. But if you set these 5 boundaries as a foundation and really communicate it to your partner and vice versa, it's going to do amazing things for you and your relationship and for your partner, because you'll be aware of the things that they need sometimes when they're not doing it for themselves, and you can give them the space or be supportive or whatever needs to happen. If you and your partner need help with that, and that's not something you guys are thriving at, and that's been an issue for you guys, reach out to me for coaching. Just DM me coaching and we'll get to it. And as a side note, this boundaries framework works with friends and family all alike. No difference. The only difference is platonic versus romantic relationships, but the boundary foundations all operate just the same. Let's get it.